Welcome to the ultimate build guide to get overpowered early in Elden Ring. And I gotta say, I don't think you can get a better start in the game with a different build. This build pretty much makes you nearly unstoppable for early game. You are still very killable, but you're not as easy to be killed. But the build consists of a Blood Uchi Katana plus 5. I show where to get all the smithing stones and stuff in the video. A dagger, we only use this dagger to cast the Golden Bow skill, which raises your attack and defense for a little bit. The Uchi Katana's skill is Bloody Slash. What you do is you sacrifice a little bit of health, but you do a really strong sort of blood attack that has a lot of bleed buildup. Also, the Heater Shield, which is just really good to have a 100% physical shield. Also has the parry skill. You can also put no skill on it if you just want to use this, but sometimes it's good to have a parry. And then the armor set is the Beast Champion set. I show how to get it in the video. And the base stats for this build is just 31 Vigor, 22 Endurance, and 18 Dexterity. It's a level 40 build. But the talisman that we use, which is Radagon's Sorceal, what this does is it raises all of your stats or not all of your stats, it raises Vigor, Endurance, Strength, and Dexterity each by 5. But you take, I think it's like 15% more damage. For the early game, the 15% more damage isn't really going to matter, and also this set has pretty high defenses. So for the early game, damage negation isn't really going to matter too much, so you're pretty much just getting 20 levels for free. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and this is how you get overpowered early. Starting class, you're going to want to choose. There are two really good ones. The Vagabond is a pretty good one. We start out with high vigor, strength, and dexterity. But you're probably going to want to choose the Samurai, considering you start out with really high dexterity, and you also start out with a bow and a shield for parrying, which is pretty good. As for your keepsake, you're going to want to choose the Golden Seed, because this will give you just an extra heal at the beginning of the game, which is really helpful. And then you're going to start out in Limgrave. See that church over there? You're going to want to get over there. Once you get over to the church, grab the Site of Grace, and also grab the smithing stone from here. And keep on following the path until you get to the Site of Grace right here. And there's two things we're going to want to grab from this little campsite right here. First is the map. Then go over here. Go down these stairs. Open the door. And get the whetstone knife. Also make sure you rest at this grace so you can unlock your horse and also leveling. Also when you rest, make sure you pass time until morning because it is more dangerous at nighttime. And also upgrade your flasks if you haven't already. Now as for the path you're going to want to take from this grace, run over here, you get this grace, run over here to this bridge section, make sure you grab the smithing stone here, and go over here, get this grace, then follow the path over here and get this grace. Grab the scarred tear and the flask of wondrous physic. Make sure to increase the amount of health replenished. Ride over here and get the map. Once you have the map, head over here. And tucked away in these bushes is a teleporter. Now this is going to take you in an area that you are not supposed to be in at all right now, but I do have a somewhat simple way to get to where we need to get to. Come inside and grab the grace. That guy is an entire boss, do not mess with him. And simply just take the route that I do. Ignore all the enemies and grab the golden seed. Make this little drop right here. You'll survive. When you come over here, make sure it's not nighttime because there is a boss. Get the grace. Go to the round table hold. And take the path that I go. From the Lenny's Rise side of grace, just follow the path that I take. Make sure the ball does not kill you. There's also going to be a second one that spawns. Grab the side of grace. And from the side of grace we just picked up, follow the path that I take. Hug the wall right here. Get the side of grace. Now there's going to be some things that we're going to want to get in here. Follow the path that I take very carefully. Everything here is pretty strong and can one-shot you. And open this chest to get an important item. Now, next thing we're going to be doing is something like a suicide run. So you're going to want to jump down here, and you're just going to want to ignore everything. You're going to want to run past everything. Go down here, and you're going to want to jump. And once you jump, run over here, ignore the rats, fall down, and grab the item. And you can also use the Memory of Grace if you don't want to die. The talisman we picked up just now is the Radagon Soar Seal. It increases Vigor, Endurance, Strength, and Dexterity each by 5, but it does lower your defenses a little bit. However, that won't really matter, considering that we're going to get better armor, and also it's early game. The next thing you're going to want to do is go to the first step site of Grace, which is right here on the map, and just follow the route that I take. And as you can see right down there, if you just jump off, you will not take fall damage. And right here is going to be an item we're going to want to pick up. Go back to this side of Grace, and we're going to be killing that screaming dragon now. And now we're just going to continue to hit the dragon. Now the katana that you have has bleed, which makes this process a lot more faster. It only takes about 5 minutes, but it is going to be really worth it, as this guy will give you 100,000 ruins, which for early game is a lot. Once you get the dragon this low, then use the gold pickled foulfoot. Basically what it does is it just gives you more ruins, and this guy drops a lot. Then, once you kill him, you're going to get yourself a ton of ruins. Make sure to use your golden seed. For what we're going to want to be leveling with these ruins, get your endurance to 20, your vigor to 30, and whatever other points you have, just put into dexterity. Now go back to Third Church of America, and go over to this area on the map. Also, make sure to come over here, and right over here will be some stuff you can put in your physic. That's really helpful. Once you get over to the fort, come down here, and there will be a site of grace. And once you get the grace, just come back over here. And what you're going to want to do is kind of clear out this area. Just kill all the enemies. You are pretty strong, so you shouldn't have a problem doing this. Make sure to grab the golden seed here. Once the area is cleared, just follow the route that I take. There's going to be a knight up here. Now this guy is kind of strong. I recommend trying to go for backstabs with him and not try to go for parries like I'm doing. The skill on the katana is also pretty good, so if he doesn't dodge it. But once killing him, you're going to get the skill that we're going to be using for this build. Climb up the ladder and grab this other important item. Go back to the round table hold, and you're going to want to buy a dagger and a 100% physical black shield. Go over to the blacksmith. Go to Ash of War, click on the katana, put on Bloody Slash with the blood infusion. You're losing out on a good amount of damage, but you're also getting a lot of blood loss buildup. Go to the gate front side of Grace, and keep on following the path and going up until you get over here. Then there's going to be a site of Grace. Make sure to grab the golden seed here, grab the site of Grace, and keep on talking to this person until they give you the jellyfish summon. Next, from the site of Grace, keep on going over here, and there'll be another site of Grace right here. Touch the site of Grace. If you see anything you like from him, you can buy it. No skill is pretty good because we're only going to be using Bloody Slash. But what we're actually going to be doing is we're going to be killing this guy because he drops his armor. Keep in mind, if you do kill this guy, you actually miss out on a quest to get a cooler looking set of armor, but his armor is the best armor that you can actually get early game. And he is a little bit of a tough guy to kill, but keep on hitting him. The bleed from the katana is really going to help. And you'll also get his bell bearing if there was something that you wanted to buy from him. But this is the best armor that you can get for early game. As you can see, if we put all the stuff on that we need, we are going to be at a heavy load. Just go over to the Lenny's Rise site of Grace. And if you do exactly as I do, when the ball spawns, if you just do like that, it'll fall off and it give you ruins. Keep on doing that until you're able to get a level. and then put that 1 point in endurance. Also, upgrade your flasks. At 22 endurance, plus the 5 you get from the talisman, you should be able to run everything and still have a medium roll, the Uchi-Katana, the dagger, the shield, and the full armor. Go over back to this grace, and right over here, lure one of these giants to follow you, and bring him over to this statue. And what he's going to do is break the statue, go next to it without dying, and you're going to be able to grab a bunch of smithing stones. Head back to Stormhill Shack, and then go up here, and grab the Strength Not Crystal tier. Next, head over to here, and once you're over here, there'll be a guy on a horse. Make sure you kill him, he has a pretty useful skill. Then pick up the Golden Vow Ash of War. Now go to Ashes of War, and put it on the dagger. What Golden Vow does is it lasts for a short period of time, and it just raises your attack and your defense by a little. Head back to Agil Lake North, and go down to this cave. And if you did pick up all of the smithing stones, we're only going to need 2 down here. Get the first one over here. The second one is over next to these enemies. Next, go back to the Agil Lake North Site of Grace and follow the path all the way down here until you get over to a Site of Grace that's right about here. And follow the path that I go. Make sure to grab the smithing stone 2 here. Grab this grace. And buy the smithing stone 2 from this merchant. Go to the Mistwood Outskirts Site of Grace, and then go over here on your map. Once you get over here, do be careful and maybe crouch. But go in here, open the chest, and then grab another smithing stone 2. And then right along over here, and run past this scary fight with a bear. Just grab the smithing stone and then run away. Go back to this Site of Grace, and by going this way, we're going to grab 2 things. Grab the golden seed and the map over here. Grab the grace inside of here. And we're only really here for one thing, which is another smithing stone. Go over here, take care of the dogs, and grab the smithing stone. And then go over to the blacksmith. And you're going to want to get the Uchi-Katana to +5. Go over to Church of Ella. Talk to Ronnie. Then you're going to get the wolves. The wolves and the jellyfish are pretty good summons for early game. From Kale, some really useful things to buy are the telescope, crafting kit, torch, and about 40 throwing knives. Throwing knives are just good to have. Go to the Castlemore and Rampart Site of Grace, and then follow the path over here. You're going to need another Site of Grace around here. keep on following the path and keep on going up here until you get to this church. And then once you get to the church, grab the tier right here. Then go on your horse and head over to here. Over here, get the grace and the tier. Go back to the Castle Morn Rampart set of grace and follow the path and keep on going up here until you get to the church. Then grab the tier. Make sure to use it. Finally, if you did follow the full guide, you will have the completed build. To show the power of this build, we're going to be fighting the first main story boss. Of course, spoiler warning, if you haven't already seen this guy, but by all means, watch if you do not care about the spoiler. For the physic, I'd recommend the Strength Knot Crystal tier and the Green Spill Crystal tier. These ones are pretty good. For Spirit Summon, it doesn't really matter which one you use. Both of them are pretty good. I'm going to use the Wolves. But what you're going to want to do is drink the Physic, then cast Golden Vow, and then you're going to want more FP to cast the Spirit Summons, so drink a Blue Potion. And then we're just going to let the gameplay speak for itself. And just like that, he goes down. And remember that Tree Sentinel guy that kept on one-shotting you? He's a piece of cake with this build.